Welcome to WebStylePress. We have shared videos about creating custom checkbox design by using only CSS and by using JavaScript. This is advanced tutorial that makes use of CSS and JavaScript to create custom checkbox design. Design that you are going to see in this example is simple, but functionality is what I want you to keep your focus at. This example is different because it has got separate label and input fields. If we can get input inside label, then our job gets easier. Clicking at label will automatically select the input checkbox, but here we have them separate. If you work with Shopify or WordPress, you will have to use plugins. Plugins inject code for checkbox that have separate label and input fields. Input is not inside label. This technique covers that. This is the output, as you can see. Let me refresh this once more. And as you can see, this is label and this is input. Label is separate and input is separate. And these label and input are in separate div with class checkbox. And this checkbox class gets a checked class, another class named as checked, and this class is toggled. This is what we will build. Original input checkbox is hidden. We will build design for our custom checkbox by using CSS. This is our HTML code. I have CSS file here, custom.css linked with it. Bootstrap, Twitter Bootstrap is there for basic styling. I've got container, raw, and inside the raw we've got two columns. And we have got jQuery, and at the end custom.js file is linked with it. Our CSS file, that is sass, and our custom.js file, it's got document.ready function, and this is a function call. We will write the logic for that function here. And this is one block of checkboxes in this column. Notice that we have got not a div, check boxes, check hyphen boxes class, and then we have got three checkboxes here. Option 1, option 2, option 3. Names are different, option 1, 2, 3. And then we've got this div with class checkbox. And this checkbox will get a class, additional class named as checked. Based on this class, this input will be checked or unchecked. For our second column, this is our checkbox group, second checkbox group. Option 4, option 5, option 6. Each checkbox has different name. We are not using values here because we don't need values. If we want any checkbox checked by default, it should have attribute checked in input. Part of our functionality is to have an additional class with the checkbox class named as checked. If we will have a class checked with the div containing class checkbox, it will show checked state, and we will have to add checked attribute in its input element that is inside it. Let's have our CSS for the label and display block, cursor pointer, font size 22 pixels, font weight bold. Let's see the output first. This is the output. Save. And now we have got this output. So this is label, this is input. Input is outside of label. Label has got the text inside it. We will hide original checkbox input fields because we are designing our own, but original input will be there for its value. Then we have got this for checked state. So div with checkbox class will have a class checked, and then we are styling label inside that. So it's color, position relative, display block, and for this labels before element, pseudo element, we are using this checkmark. Checkmark comes from here. This is the CSS code for checkmark that we are using in content property, position absolute, some left, top, font size, and color. This is the output now. So this was checked. If I place this class checked with this second checkbox, save, refresh, and now this is checked. Now we can style our label for checked checkbox as we like. So our CSS is done at this point. For our JavaScript, when DOM will be ready, we'll fire a function called custom checkbox. So if we click at label, what should happen? And then check if any checkbox is checked by default. Basically, we will keep it here and keep this functionality here. If we click at label, what should happen? So this is wrapper class check-boxes. Inside it, we've got 3 checkboxes. If we click at label, this label or this label, what should happen? We'll cover that here. Checkbox, label, click function, first of all, at label click, we will apply class to its outer div with class checkbox. At click of label, see its closest checkbox and toggle class checked at this checkbox. If it has class checked, remove it, or in other case, add that class. Now class checked has been toggled. From here, CSS will take care of the checked state. Refresh. Refresh. Now class checked has been toggled and CSS will take care of displaying a check mark if checked class is added. But we have to take care of actual input checkbox that is not being checked right now. So if label was clicked, get its closest element with the checkbox class. Find inner input element, and if it's got checked attribute, remove that attribute. In other case, add it. That is what we're going to do. This dot closest checkbox dot find input attribute checked. So if on this label click, if we have got input inside it with checked attribute, do something, or else do something else here. So if we have got the attribute for the input field, then we will remove it. Remove attribute checked. In other case, we will add attribute. Refresh. Refresh. So now this is working. That's about it. As simple as this. But we covered click scenario. What if we have a checked checkbox by default? We did not cover that. So outside of click logic, here, inside the same function, let's add another logic. This function will be triggered when DOM is ready. So this logic will be triggered as soon as this function will receive a call. So check if any checkbox is checked. If yes, add checked attribute to input inside it. That's what we have to do. So we will take each div containing checkbox. For each div with class dot checkbox, we will check if it has class checked. If this dot has class checked, if yes, we will add attribute checked for input checkbox inside that. To do that, we will use this keyword again. This will hold this checkbox, and we are finding input inside it. This dot find input dot attribute checked, checked, or you can also use prop. And if you use prop, then we will use true here. Both will work. Refresh, and now this checkbox is checked, and we inspect it, we display it, and as you can see, this is checked. And now everything is working. You can design any checkbox by using this technique. All you have to do is to style label to your liking. We have styled the label, and we have used before element, and we have used HTML entity, this check mark here, and this is our style. You can style it to your liking. Alright, like, share and subscribe, press bell icon, stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.